I think maybe sort of romanticize, have this sort of nostalgic recollection of this film as this like just like incredible, wonderful movie, and it absolutely is. This is an objectively like fun movie, but then what happens is the rest of the ones get sort of colored by that, and they don't live up to it. But in fact, they're really good, and I sometimes go back and forth between saying this and Tomorrow Never Dies are my favorite of the Brosnan Bonds. The World Is Not Enough is also like a really, really good film. It's best if we don't talk about Die Another Day.
And, of course, you got to remember, like, these were meant to be seen in a movie theater. Like, it was the primary way of seeing it was in a big packed movie theater with a big old bucket of popcorn. And then
Hmm.
eventually you would watch it on TBS or something down the line.
Yep.
These are not films to be consumed on a phone, so I think that's a big part of it. But yeah, I mean, I didn't want to do Tomorrow Never Dies next, but it's like, it and this idea of like the 24-hour news cycle. It also speaks to the present moment in a way where it's like we might have to double up on Brosnan before we do like Goldfinger or something.
Well, so what's interesting about the Bond films is that they're always responding to their moment in history. It's one of the reasons
Hmm.
why I love the series, and even sort of at their goofiest. And I think those of us who love the movies can admit, they all get goofy. They become sort of overdetermined in their use of gadgets and special effects and narratives. But they're always responding to their moment. And so this one feels more than many others very responsive because it is coming out sort of immediately or in the sort of the long period after the fall of the Berlin Wall and sort of the nominal end of the Cold War, the split between this like polarized Manichaean struggle between the Soviet Union and the United States. And that's a big it's a big deal. It really is super responsive and becomes super apparent. But the other films are also responding to their moments. And you watch a film like Tomorrow Never Dies, and all you can think about is watching it today in particular is not only the construction of the 24-hour news cycle that you mentioned, but what is it to have an oligarchical billionaire class that runs our news cycle, that gets to decide what the news cycle is. And at this moment, when we have a billionaire class that owns sort of the major papers of the fourth estate and that own the technologies and infrastructures that fuel the fifth estate, right? We're talking about Bezos, we're talking about Musk. All of a sudden, the horror of Tomorrow Never Dies feels so much more salient and real. I think in a lot of ways, and speaks to us in our contemporary moment even more than a film like GoldenEye.
You just heard a clip from the most recent episode of the History on Film podcast. For more of this episode and access to all our episodes, search for the History on Film podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and Pandora. Don't forget to like and subscribe the channel here on YouTube. Thanks for listening.